What's up guys, it's Andrew at Night, and today what I've got for you is a review of the Poetic Atmosphere case for the HTC One. Now this case looks really like a bumper case, except you've actually got a shell on the back, which you can see there, which is this sort of odd, slightly frosted plastic look. And actually, on camera it doesn't look too bad. Not on camera, when it's not on the phone, it looks a bit sort of cheap, because it's almost slightly milky. However, when you put it on the phone, it does look a little bit better. Also, something to note, I'm using the black HTC One, and this will look very different on a silver one, obviously. But the fit and finish of the case is really, really nice. The inside is the really hard plastic. So when you first get it, I do recommend you just get a microfiber or a tissue or something and just wipe down the inside. Get rid of any little grains of anything that happens to be in there. Also get rid of any dust so it doesn't show up on the back of the phone, especially if you're using the black version. But if you do that, you should make sure you don't scratch your device. The inside here, all this plastic cutting is really, really soft, and all this edging is this slightly softer rubber, so you're not going to scratch the phone taking it in and out. On the back, you can see you've got a nice cutout for the camera. This works really well. It doesn't obscure the flash, and it doesn't actually affect the camera image at all. Each corner's got this nice little sort of, don't know what you'd call it, like little line of rubber with little nubs on, except this one here is open, which is for your microphone, which is a really cool feature. I think it looks really nice with the design when you've got all four. These little nubs also mean it slides slightly less, and it's less likely to get scratched when you put it down. Then on the bottom you've got your cutouts, you've got your other microphone cutout, nothing on this side. On the top you've got your completely cut out IR blaster, so you can use the thing to control your TV. Also the 3.5mm headphone jack. This cutout's pretty good. It's not very big, so I'm pretty sure most headphones are still going to fit, as with most cases. To put the phone on, I tended just to drop it in to the bottom first, like that, line it up, and then just pop it over. Okay, this case is a bit of a hassle to get on sometimes. I'm not sure how much you saw there. I sort of crumpled the corner slightly, and you can see here there's actually a gap there, where the first time I put the case on, I really crumpled the corner, and it just pulled that away from the plastic body. When the phone's in the case, you can't tell, and I really don't mind, because I don't even notice it until I take the phone in and out of it. It's just something to be aware of when you're putting this on. Just be careful of these corners. You can also see up here, if I can get it to focus up here, there's a small crack there, which is that similar thing. This softer rubber on the front is a little bit weak, and if you constantly take the phone in and out, which I do when I review them to sort of simulate heavy use, then you are going to get a bit of wear. And if there's anything negative I'd say about this, it's this front bumper isn't quite as high quality as I'd like. I really like how it looks, and I love the fact that you've got lay on the table design, but this rubber just isn't quite sturdy enough if you're going to be taking this off a lot. That said, if you're careful with it, you're not going to have any issues, and if you only put this on once or twice, then it's going to be fine. Feel in the hand, it feels really small compared to the other cases I've reviewed, and granted the other ones I've reviewed are an OtterBox and the Spec Candy Shell. This feels much smaller than both, and it feels pretty close to getting on for a naked HTC One. It's very apparent that it's not naked when you hold it, but the size of it really doesn't feel that much bigger. The back's really nice to hold in the hand, and I actually quite like how it looks on the back of the HTC One. It does look a little bit misty, which is odd when you start when you first look at it, but it sort of grows on you a bit, and I actually really like it, and I love the orange accenting. And this is a slightly brighter orange than it appears on camera. Yeah, so in and out the pocket is really nice with this, because it's really smooth back, and these corners don't really grip at all. The only issue I do have is this front lip. As I said, I wish it was slightly higher quality rubber, and perhaps if this came with an option where the back was completely clear, I'd maybe quite like that. Perhaps this looks better than the silver one. But on the black one or the grey one, as I said, it grew on me, but it has got that slight milky effect, which a lot of people I've met when I've been using this case don't like. Some people love it. I think a lot of people really like the orange, and the sort of bumper design looks really cool. And again, most people really like how it felt in the hand, but there was those people who didn't like the sort of colour choice with that sort of slightly opaque back. There's also a little Poetic logo there, which I'm not sure if I showed you, which you can feel with your finger, which is a nice little touch. So that's the Poetic Atmosphere case for the HTC One. If you've got any more questions, please PM me. This is a great case if you want decent drop protection and scratch protection. There's not going to be much shock protection, but drops, sort of everyday drops onto tables and things, aren't going to be too bad. But if you're going to be dropping it from any more height, you are going to want to go for something more like the OtterBox. But for an everyday case, this is pretty decent. If you like the way it looks, I think it's definitely worth a get. And if you're one of those people who really doesn't like cases, this doesn't feel too bad on the phone. It doesn't feel as nice as a naked HTC One because it does feel so good. But this is getting a lot closer than, say, the Spec Candy Shell, which a lot of people commented on, and rightly so, saying it was quite bulky. And I said it feels nice, but it is bulky. This one feels much less bulky and still feels nice. So that's the Poetic Atmosphere for the HTC One. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Please subscribe if you haven't seen me before, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Ta-ra!